Hello and welcome to this edition of Month in Review. I'm Petty Officer Kyle Jackson. In tonight's newscast, we're going to recap our top stories from October and highlight the accomplishments of sailors and commands operating here in Fleet Activities Sasebo. Our top story tonight takes us to the fan tell of a minesweeper participating in a potentially dangerous exercise off the coast of Korea. Seaman Scott Bork is aboard the ship and tells us what the crew is doing to ensure that everyone comes home safe.
Everybody's safety observer. Any questions?
Minesweeping can be a dangerous operation, with heavy equipment, explosive cutters, and wires under tension. Add to the mix a dark night, heavy seas, a crew of newbies, and you can see that safety is of critical importance.
After dusk, it's very dark out here. You don't see the equipment, you don't see the people around you. So it's very important that your mindset is focused on what you're doing when you're rigging up your equipment. If you fall into the water, then pretty much you're on your own. Your life vest will be your life-saving equipment. You have your nightsticks. Everybody else around you being a safety observer.
Prior to starting operations, the ship conducts a safety brief and inspects all personal protective equipment. While sailors on the fantail work silently, orders are called and repeated. While it may seem like overkill, these precautions are necessary for one big reason.
In this warfare, it's not something we do all the time. You know, it's actually more hands-on, more dangerous. You know, you're not like sitting here, you know, messing with signals. You're right here, you're messing with people's lives and equipment.
Whether conducting training operations or actual combat, Navy commands always ensure that safety is everyone's top priority. From USS Guardian, I'm Seaman Scott Bork.
While those sailors were learning to clear the waterways, local preschoolers were learning something equally important: fire safety. I went to the Hario Fire Station and found out what the CNFJ Fire Department is doing to help students stay safe. Wait, there's no fire. What? That's because it's all part of a demonstration put on for the children. And it sounds like they're enjoying it. But what are children doing at a fire station?
If you start kids off early at an early age, letting them know how to call the fire department, what your actions to take when there's an emergency, it saves lives in the end.
The children's visit to the station was one of many events Fleet Activities Sasebo's fire department held as part of Fire Prevention Week.
The fire department is open to families and friends. You can come by anytime. Stop by to see us. We got a host of things that we're doing out in the community, getting to the schools, educating the families and children about fire prevention.
And apparently the week isn't only for children.
They move out to the show and they find out they have an emergency at their house. They don't know how to call the fire department. They don't know how to speak Japanese.
Ready, Ashley? One.
So we try to educate them about what to do, you know.
And with knowledge gained from a week filled with fire drills, safety tips, and demonstrations, military families can be better prepared for most any fire emergency. Petty Officer Kyle Jackson, Sasebo, Japan. National Fire Prevention Week is observed in the United States and Canada, and the first presidential proclamation for Fire Prevention Week was made in 1925 by President Calvin Coolidge. While teaching students about fire safety can be important, it's also equally valuable to teach them about local culture. That's why Educators Day is held annually in the Fleet Activities Sasebo school system. This year, the focus was to get students interested in local Japanese history and culture. Petty Officer Houston Waters attended Educators Day and tells us why this year was so special.
Educators Day, a day when teachers become students themselves. The focus was on giving educators ideas on getting students interested in local culture.
Well, I hope that some of the teachers will be able to use the information that I provided to bring into the classroom so the students do get to learn a little bit more about, where their parents are stationed.
Local Japanese traditions were on display, from lessons on how to use a soroban to practicing their skills on the taiko drums. These teachers took the time to have a little fun and learn new ways to educate students.
We do this every year. It's the time that allows teachers to come together. It's more about what the teacher thinks they could best use in their own classroom.
Students put on a taiko drum performance that brings the event to a close. Petty Officer Houston Waters, Sasebo, Japan.
Teachers from Sasebo Elementary, Jack and Darby Elementary, and E.J. King High School participated in 23 different training exercises. But it's not just the teachers who teach. Sailors have the unique opportunity to teach other sailors, civilians, and even dogs. Petty Officer John Wagner tells us about the Master-at-Arms at the CFAS Military Working Dog Department and the special relationship they have with their four-legged companions.
Naval Security Forces at Fleet Activities Sasebo have the use of a wide variety of tools and equipment. But for a selected group of Masters-at-Arms, carrying out their mission requires a special helper.
The benefits for a security department having dogs at their disposal is the fact that it's another tool that they can utilize in their day-to-day job.
The relationship between MAs and MWDs goes beyond duty. It's a friendly partnership.
Very important because you gotta have trust. I mean, it's just like trusting a person, except for a dog can't speak to you. So doing our job, I have to trust my dog. She won't fail me. So, and it takes a strong relationship to do that.
When the time comes for these partners to take action, it's trust that helps them complete the mission. Petty Officer John Wagner, Sasebo, Japan.
Williamson has been in the Navy for 2 years and has worked with his partner Alba for the past 9 months. The weather has cooled because of the full swing of fall. Can we expect the continual temperature drop through the upcoming weekend? Let's take a look at your local weather forecast and find out.
Here's your 3-day weather forecast and your local exchange rate for the Sasebo area.
The kimono, a traditional Japanese garment, has had a long history and has changed over the time to reflect the Japanese society and culture of the period. Petty Officer Robert Long traveled with a group of ladies from Fleet Activities Sasebo as they tried on a special cultural experience.
Ladies from Fleet Activities Sasebo participated in a cultural learning experience held in the city of Akizuki. While there, the ladies were able to dress in the traditional kimono and walk around the area. This event is aimed at introducing foreigners to Japan's culture and traditions through interactivity and hands-on experience, rather than learning about their host nation from a book.
It kind of takes away the cultural blindness. You're pulled into it and you see what their life is, and you're not so ignorant to the fact that there is different ways of living. You kind of experience the culture, you learn what life is like outside of your little military town, and it's something different, so you can totally just kind of embrace and like be engulfed in the culture.
Petty Officer Robert Long, Sasebo, Japan.
The kimono wearing experience tour put on by the Travel and Tours Department is held twice annually, once in the spring and once in the fall. And that does it for this edition of Month in Review. Tune in next Thursday at the same time for a new edition of our monthly travel show, Kyushu Explorer, where I'll take you around a few of the zoos around Kyushu. If you missed any of our stories or would like to see them again, like us on Facebook or subscribe to AFN Sasebo Japan on YouTube to have the news delivered to you. Also, be sure to check out all of the Halloween activities going on around base this weekend. I'm Petty Officer Kyle Jackson, and from all of us here, thank you for watching, have a great evening, and a safe and happy Halloween.